More changes from the state of California, and the battle for trucking is heating up once again. Today on the Journal. Howdy-ho, greetings truck lovers and truth seekers. Welcome to another edition of Truckin City Journal, where we call out the truth the mainstream fails to recognize. I'm Boss Man, the CIC of the United States of Truckin. I've opened a channel for you, creating a community of like-minded truckers. With your help, we can make trucking great again. 13 years in the trucking business, I'm a full-time trucker by day, broadcaster by night, a movement I welcome you aboard to. This is a show that no others can be because you get involved. Don't just watch the problem, solve the problem. In a recent article from Truckin Dive detailed not long ago, a meeting with Chris Spears and others who said enough's enough. When it comes to the war against the diesel engine, they said, let's stop the confusion and let's start the reunion. It's time to shine a big, bold spotlight on an issue that mainstream media just would rather sweep under the rug. While the news cycle spins its tires on other stories, California's crusade against diesel engines is heating up faster than a rig hauling heavy stuff up a mountain grade. But while we're all recognizing this, and I'm not telling you anything new, the ATA, led by Chris Spears, is drawing a line in the sand with a bold letter written to the manufacturers saying enough is enough. In this letter, he urged manufacturers of Cummins, Volvo, Daimler, and more to abandon California's clean truck partnership and get back to common sense. He's calling for nationwide standards, folks. Right now, it's up to each state to adopt standards to rid their states and their streets of your diesel engine. He's calling for a nationwide set of standards that applies to all 50 states. Diesel engines are being rationed like there's some delicacy instead of the powerhouses to keep America moving. That's not in the country, folks. That's just California. The madness needs to stop. Let's quit the confusion and start the reunion and unify behind regulations that make sense nationwide, not statewide. Comment below if you think that's an improvement and would stop Newsom dead in his tracks. If you've got an idea for a story you'd like covered, email us at thatstruckinnews@outlook.com. Newsom wants to end fossil fuels in his state. Well, that's fine for him until California becomes its own country. And the question is, do states have more power than the feds? What if this were completely changed? What if, instead of it being a state's issue, what if instead we brought this to one authority? Comment below and join me on what I think will be an interesting, qualified solution to an already growing problem. You probably noticed that I've been picking on this topic quite a bit here lately. And the reason for that mainly is because, well, mainstream's lacking. You don't really hear a whole lot about Chris Spear and Todd Spencer in the mainstream media, that is, talking about ridding the world of diesel engines. Well, if you ask me, folks, Chris Spear is making a lot of sense. He's urging for there to be more common sense leadership in Washington. And at the same time, he thinks if it's done right, we can turn this ship around. Let's take a minute and reflect on previous rulemakings in the trucking industry. We've got a labyrinth of rules and regulations for industries just like ours that often get passed and put in place without even so much as a thought to the federal rules and the effect that state level conflicting resolutions or rules would have on our industry. Take length and width restrictions as an example. Depending on which state you're rolling through, the rules can change faster than a politician's promises, okay? And don't even get me started on specialized permitting for oversized loads. One state wants this fee, another demands that form, another one says this requirement. Now I get infrastructure is particularly sensitive in one place where it's not in another. And I've got a bunch of you naysayers that are going to say that's just creating more chaos. No, one set of rules for one industry that everyone everywhere can bank on, not only to make the money, but knowing how to spend the money, to me makes more sense. Comment below if you think I'm actually onto something. Can you see the sense in simplifying chaotic madness right now that exists into one cohesive set of rules? I think I clearly spelled it out in a previous video. One road, one code, not 49 or 50, depending on where you live. That wouldn't fit on the logo anyway. But you get my point. Same thing should be said for the diesel engine restrictions California's trying to replace. So far, only 23 states have considered adopting similar legislation. So that's less than half the states in the country that are trying to go green, while the others facing an unknown because they don't know what's coming. Enough with California here, Jersey there. Comment if you agree. Because I'll tell you something. One thing will shut down a trucking company faster than someone that doesn't know how to run it. And I'll apply that to the leadership in Washington. If you don't know how to run the damn country, get out. Set one set of standards, one set of rules for one industry, not a million. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this kind of content, if you are in the mood to give back, go down below, leave your comments, hit the like button, subscribe. This is not the last video I'm going to make on this topic. Trucking is a never-ending pursuit for success and happiness, and I welcome you aboard to enjoy the ride. It's the trucks that make the deliveries, but it's people like you that get off the fence and join a movement to become smarter, wiser, and more successful business people, that we can actually turn this industry back into something we can be proud of. Join me on Saturday as I bring up more on Frontline, on how we can unify this industry and make trucking great again. Till then, remember, it's you and the road. One road, one code. Keep the faith, keep it real, keep it rolling.